This meeting will now come to order. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mayor Carlett.
Here.
Vice Mayor Patina.
Here.
Councilmember Finn.
Here.
Councilmember Dunn. I'm sorry, Councilmember Hunt. Councilmember Hunt.
Oh, Hunt, I thought you were saying done.
I did, and I said
I
sorry.
am here.
Okay. Councilmember Edwards.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Peoria City Council special meeting of April 28th, 2022. We have one item on our study session agenda this evening, and it is candidate interviews for Mesquite District Council vacancy. I am going to take a moment and read our policies and procedures, so please bear with me so we get everything done legally. This special meeting is being held due to the resignation of Mesquite District Council member Bridget Binsbacher. The date of that resignation was April 4th, 2022. Peoria's City Charter, Section 13, specifically guides the requirements of this council, stating the council shall, not less than 12 days nor more than 30 days from the date any vacancy occurs, appoint a person to fill the vacant office for a term ending the first business day after the canvass of votes is completed following the election of a candidate to fill the unexpired term of office. It was quite clear, wasn't it? The city charter also states if a vacancy occurs 740 days or more prior to the next regular election for the vacant position, there shall be a special election held to fill the unexpired portion of the term. There shall be a period of 10 days from the date the vacancy occurs, during which any person desiring to run for the vacant office must declare as a candidate for the office by filing a written statement declaring the intention to be a candidate with the city clerk. The city clerk's office informed the public of the vacancy in the Mesquite District, as well as instructions and requirements for filling the vacant seat during the interim and/or running in the election via the following methods. April 5th, vacancy notification and information was placed on the city's main website and on the clerk's website. April 5th, a press release was sent to the local and valley-wide media outlets for print, radio, and television. April 5th, postings were sent to social media outlets, including Facebook and Twitter. The Peoria City Clerk has scheduled that special election for the next available date, which is November 8th, 2022. The City Clerk's office is the filing agency for forms related to the vacancy in the Mesquite District. By the deadline of April 14th, 2022 at 5 p.m., that office received 2 letters declaring intent to be a candidate for the Mesquite District Council seat in the November election. Diane Douglas and Brad Schaefer. Also, by the deadline of April 14th at 5 p.m., the City Clerk's office received 1 letter to fill the vacancy on an interim basis. Brad Schaefer. The letter to fill the vacant seat on an interim basis is what brings us to this special study session today. The candidate will be given 3 minutes to introduce himself and will be asked questions which have been submitted by myself and members of the council in advance of this meeting. Following mayor and council questions, the candidate may ask 1 question of the council. After the interviews are completed, we will convene into a special city council meeting to deliberate and vote on the new Mesquite District Council member. That person will then be sworn in by presiding Municipal Judge George Anaknost. I will now ask the clerk to offer questions to council members to be randomly selected from a cup. While we're doing that, I would like to ask Brad Schaefer to come down and join us. Thank you. That's all right. Good evening. Thank you for being here.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
So, Mr. Schaefer, I believe you've got all of those answers there and all of those instructions. So we will start. Is everyone ready? Everyone has their question? Okay, we will start with your opening, and that is 3 minutes to make opening remarks before we ask you questions. So please go ahead whenever you're ready.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mayor, Council. It is an honor and a privilege to be here tonight asking for your support and your vote in filling the vacant Mesquite District. For the record, my name is Brad Schaefer. I live at 9777 West Buckhorn Trail in Peoria, Arizona in the Mesquite District. Tonight I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, my experience, my qualifications, why I applied for the appointment and why I want to run for the seat as well. And lastly, some of the things that I would like to focus on in the Mesquite District. Mayor, Council, I'm a third-generation veteran. I'm also a former third-generation first responder. So I believe in service before self. I served down at Luke Air Force Base as a combat medic during 9/11, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. I believe I believe in service, in serving my community. I also believe that if you want to change the world, you roll up your sleeves and you start working in your own neighborhood, in your own community. For the past 15 years that I've been living in the Peoria area, I've been serving my community in the following ways. First, HOA president, I served for 8 years. And during those 8 years, I was constantly looking at our budget and looking at contracts and renegotiating contracts with our vendors to see how I can keep our dues low and flat. Also, I looked at opportunities to reduce our water consumption, whether it was low flow valves or timers or whatever, because I know that we live in a desert and we're in a drought, and that was our largest expense, was water, so I wanted to conserve water. Also, for 8 years, I served as the Candeo Charter School Board President, which is a charter school off of Lake Pleasant, just south of Happy Valley, where my kids go. During those 8 years, there was multiple times that school won recognitions and awards at a state and national level of being a top-performing school based upon academic performance. Also served as a former board member of Peoria Diamond Club. I love baseball, and what a great organization in regards to giving back to the community. I've served our city in the following capacity over the number of years. Bond Authorization Committee Chair. It was just about a month or two ago, I was sitting in the seat making a recommendation to the Mayor and Council. And that recommendation included making improvements to our parks and supporting and funding our police and fire, giving our police a new training facility and the fire department new fire stations up in Vistancia and Lake Pleasant. Also served as a planning and zoning commissioner for about the last 18 months. And the Charter Review Committee, I actually served on that committee twice. One time as the chair, and the first time as the secretary, second time as the chair. And during those recommendations that were made to council, they went to the ballot, and they were passed by the voters as well. So that's just a little bit of my volunteer experience over the last 15 years and how I've tried to make my community a great place to live. A little bit about my professional experience. I am a healthcare executive. I did get my bachelor's degree in healthcare administration. I got my master's in business administration, and I also earned my Lean Six Sigma black belt. And what that does is it allows me to look at processes and come up with the most efficient way and the most the lowest cost possible. So why do I want to serve? That's my experience and why I've been or the things that I've served in my community. But why do I want to serve? Well, I believe in building a stronger future, and that starts in your home, then in your neighborhood, your community and city, and then state, and it has a ripple effect there. I have a really strong home. I love my wife and kids. I love my neighborhood, my community, and everything. And so I want to serve to build a stronger Peoria. Also, another reason I want to serve is my wife and my family and I, we love living in Peoria. This is where we live. This is where we raise our family. This is where my kids go to school, and this is where my family goes to church. We play at the parks. We do baseball at Paloma, and we have a lot of great assets in our community. And so what I want to do is I want to serve my time to my community and continue to make it a great place to live. Also, what we have in Peoria, in the Mesquite District, is special. We have a high quality of life, whether it's our parks, our open spaces, our public safety, our police and fire. And I want to protect and preserve those things that make Peoria a great place to live. Also, we have some very unique assets that most cities do not have, and that's our open spaces, our mountain preserves, our trails, and Lake Pleasant. What a great asset and a beautiful place to spend time with your family. Here's some.
Brad, you want us to start asking you questions?
Yes,
You've got so many great things. I'm not sure we need to ask you any. I appreciate that.
Sorry, Mayor.
No, that's quite all right. So we will just go down the line. Each of us are going to ask you one question. Everybody submitted questions in advance, and so we just picked one out of the hat. We're not necessarily asking you our own question, And so we'll start with Councilmember Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, Brad. So my one question is, what is our form of government?
Mayor, Council, Councilman Edwards, great question, thank you. So we do have a city charter, which is our governing document, and our form of government is mayor, council, and then we have a city manager and staff. Great question, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hunt?
Well, Brad, I think you already answered my question, because my question says, how do you feel about protecting the Sonoran Desert in Peoria? So I think I would tweak that just a little bit, because we know you love it. How would you go about, though, convincing council members, others, to do more or to continue what we're doing to protect it? Do you have a plan?
Yeah. Mayor, Council, Councilmember Hunt, thank you, great question. So yes, I do love our open spaces, they're very unique. That's where I spend time with my family, out on the hiking trails or mountain biking or at the lake. My plan was, so the city of Peoria is growing rapidly and development is coming. And so my plan is to work with the council, developers, and then also our community to ensure as development happens, it's smart development and smart growth, Councilman Hunt. I want to make sure that we're protecting our open spaces when we do look at proposals for development.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. My question is, where are your favorite places to spend time in our city?
Mayor, Council, great question. There's so many of them. I don't think we have time tonight, but just a few. I would have to say first and foremost, obviously, my home with my family. But outside of that,
That's a good answer. Smart answer.
I would say outside of my home, I love Lake Pleasant. I love going there with my family. I'm a boater. Just last Saturday, I was up there supporting our Peoria police at a barbecue. A month or two ago, I was up there with my family. My daughter was entered in a world surf competition, and she placed. That's where I'm up there spending time with my family and in our community. And then I also love the mountain preserves around us, because that's where I'm taking my boys for a hike and spending quality time. So one additional, I would have to say the Veterans Wall down at Rio Vista Park, because my name's down there, Mayor.
Your name's on there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's great. I love that place too. Thank you. Councilmember Patena.
Thank you, Mayor. Brad, thank you for being here. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You certainly have a lot of experience, especially HOA president. That's a thankless job. Sticking that out for 8 years is a really big deal, so congratulations. Well, I submitted questions to the mayor, and the one I submitted didn't make the cut. So I'm going to ask you this question. Please tell us why you would like to be appointed to this position.
Mayor, Council, great question, Councilman Patena, and thank you for thanking me for my service, both in the military and the HOA.
Yeah.
It goes back to, I think, going back to my service. 20 years ago, I served our country, and one of the core values in the Air Force was service before self. I learned it back then, and it's something that stuck with me. You know, here it is 20 years later, and it still sticks with me today. My wife and I believe in serving our community. I think this council works together really well, and it moves the city of Peoria forward. And so what I would like to do is bring my skills and my professional experience to the council and work alongside with you and represent my constituents and help moving the city of Peoria forward.
Thank you.
Councilmember Finn.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your service as well. I feel like I drew the wild card question here. What do you feel is the greatest strength of this council?
Mayor, Council, Councilmember Finn, and thank you for thanking me for my service. Yeah, that is the wild card question. I'm going to actually go back to the answer that, for Councilmember Patena, and I think the council is very cohesive. And when the council works together, you're able to be productive, and which is the best thing for our citizens of Peoria. And not only that, but over the years that I've served the city, I've got to see the mayor and council, and I know that each one of you represent your districts really well, and I know that each one of you want to serve your constituents or the citizens. And so knowing that your passion for service, that's why I want to join this council as well, too.
Thank you.
Well, those are great answers. And so now, following the interview, I will declare this interview process closed, and I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and we're going to open up the formal council meeting. So this study session is adjourned. So I was going to get us out of here in time for the ball game. We cannot start until
The Mayor and City Council welcome you to the Peoria City Council meeting. As a courtesy to others, please silence all phones. If you would like to address an issue that is on the agenda, or if you would like to speak to the council regarding a non-agenda item, please complete a speaker request form, which can be found in the front lobby of the Peoria City Council chambers or in the tray to the left of the speaker's podium. Please place the completed speaker request form in the second tray to the left of the speaker's podium labeled Request to Speak. All speakers will have 3 minutes to complete their comments. A countdown clock is easily visible on the left side of the wall behind the City Council dais. Only items listed on the agenda may be addressed by the council. Since items presented as part of a speaker's request have not been listed on the agenda, and due to the requirements of open meeting laws, the council will be unable to respond to items presented as part of the speaker's request. However, please be aware that your comments will be noted. The speaker's name will be called to speak at the appropriate time in the order that the forms were received. Thank you for your interest and participation in the Peoria City Council meeting.
Peoria City Council meeting will now come to order. Please rise for a moment of quiet reflection and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Hunt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mayor Carlett,
Here.
Vice Mayor Patina,
Here.
Councilmember Finn,
Here.
Councilmember Hunt,
Here.
and Councilmember Edwards.
Here.
Good evening and welcome to the Peoria City Council special meeting of April 28th, 2022. The first and only item on our agenda this evening is new business, item 2R, candidates for Mesquite District Council vacancy. And I will be reading our city charter and policies. So bear with me here. This special meeting is being held due to the resignation of Mesquite District Council member Bridget Binsbacher. The date of that resignation was April 4th, 2022. Peoria's City Charter, Section 13, specifically guides the requirements of this council, stating, the council shall, not less than 12 days nor more than 30 days from the date any vacancy occurs, appoint a person to fill the vacant office for a term ending the first business day after the canvass of votes is completed following the election of a candidate to fill the unexpired term of office. The city charter also states, if a vacancy occurs 740 days or more prior to the next regular election for the vacant position, there shall be a special election held to fill the unexpired portion of the term. There shall be a period of 10 days from the date the vacancy occurs, during which any person desiring to run for the vacant office must declare as a candidate for the office by filing a written statement declaring their intention to be a candidate with the clerk. The city clerk's office informed the public of the vacancy in the Mesquite District, as well as instructions and requirements for filling the vacant seat during the interim and/or running in the election via the following methods. April 5th, vacancy notification and information was placed on the city's main website and on the clerk's website. April 5th, a press release was sent to the local and valley-wide media outlets for print, radio, and television. April 5th, postings were sent to social media outlets, including Facebook and Twitter. During tonight's study session, this council conducted candidate interviews to resolve the Mesquite District Council seat vacancy during the interim period. The candidate interviewed was Brad Schaefer. I formally declare discussion open among the council for consideration of the applicant. Is there any discussion from the council?
I have one.
Councilmember Patina.
Thank you, Mayor. As I said earlier, I believe that Brad has great experience. He's engaged in our city. He has great core values. He served our country. I think he answered our questions in an excellent manner. But I think the most important thing is that Brad wants to do this job for the right reasons. And he mentioned that we're a cohesive unit, and we are that. And I think he will add to the cohesiveness of this group. So I think he'll be a tremendous asset to this council.
Thank you very much. Is there any further comments or discussion? If not, I will entertain a nomination. There is no second necessary for that.
Mayor,
Yes,
I move-
Councilmember Hunt.
I move that we accept
Nominate.
Brad Schaefer, that we nominate Brad Schaefer to fill the vacancy for Mesquite District City Council seat on an interim basis until a qualified candidate is elected to fill the remainder of the unexpired term.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? All right, seeing none, I will ask the clerk to take a verbal vote.
Councilmember Finn,
Pushing yes isn't a verbal vote, I apologize. Yes.
Vice Mayor Patena,
Yes.
Councilmember Hunt,
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards,
Yes.
and Mayor Cartwright.
Yes. All right, that is a unanimous vote, and I declare Brad Schaefer appointed as the Mesquite District Councilperson. Congratulations. I will now invite Municipal Judge George Anagnos to the chamber floor, along with Mr. Schaefer and his family, if he so desires, to be sworn in. He will come over here to this side a little bit. Good evening, Judge.
Good evening, members of the public.
Thank you for being here.
And thank you for allowing the court to be part of the ceremony today. Good evening. I'm going to administer your oath of appointment. If I could ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. That'd be fine. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the laws and Constitution
and the laws and Constitution
of the state of Arizona,
of the state of Arizona,
and I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
of the position
of the position
of City Council
of City Council
for the Mesquite District
for the Mesquite District
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Upon my oath, I do so swear.
Upon my oath, I do so swear.
Thank you. Members of the public, mayor and council, please give your voice and applause to your new Mesquite District Council member.
Congratulations. Mr. Schaefer, would you care to say a few words? You don't have to. The microphone where the judge was should be on.
Mayor, council, I'll make this brief. I want to publicly thank my wife and kids and my neighbors, friends, and community members for the support. Council, I thank you for your support, your vote, and I'm really excited to work with you and represent the members and the citizens of the Mesquite District. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and we welcome you. There being no further business, we are adjourned.